Well, hello everybody. I'm Bob Baranick, and welcome back to Bob Baranick's Treehouse. On a previous episode, we did some miniature trees in little glass bell jars. They were different themes, they were a lot of fun, and they were very well received. And I had several other theme ideas in mind for doing more bell jar miniatures. And I thought this particular episode ought to be the subject of the seasons. One of the things I really enjoy about North Carolina are the 4 different seasons. Coming from California, it was wet or dry. Here we have all 4 of them. Some are longer than others, but they're all beautiful. And so I thought I would honor that with a set of miniature trees for these bell jars. And the first one will be spring blooms. They have beautiful cherry tree blossoms out here. The second one would be a summer clubhouse with a tire swing. This particular image is Tom and Huck's treehouse in Disneyland, which was a great inspiration to me as a child. Then of course the autumn area, we have beautiful color here in North Carolina. Very famous Blue Ridge Mountains have awesome color, and pumpkins and cornfield kind of add to it all. And then the other fun thing about living in North Carolina is we get just a little bit of snow. And so I thought I would take the A-frame idea and turn that into a mountain type treehouse with evergreens and snow. So we're gonna do the traditional classic design process, starting with drawings, and we'll get through the whole process very similar to the way we did the first set. So let's start, shall we? Treehouse buildings. They're going to be in our little miniatures. This one is a rough-in of the summer cottage that's up in the tree. This little cute thing is going to be our spring building. It's got a little copper cupola on top of the roof. It's very similar to the cupola I have out in my studio. And then I found some wonderful styrene that's corrugated. This is going to be terrific for the winter A-frame. And this will have snow on it, which in icicles should be a very good look. So we're ready to start building that little house right now. We have our little houses built. This is the summer treehouse, winter, and the spring treehouse. I've marked the bases here where we're going to drill a couple of holes These are for the wire armatures. And I will make a smaller hole for the fir trees that are going to be the winter. Cutting the armature wire, fitting in the holes that we just drilled, and then we'll hit these with a little bit of glue. Not a lot, don't need a lot. And then we'll form the armatures. This one doesn't need much glue at all. We'll form the armatures when we cover them with clay. This is just to get them to stay in the holes. And while we're at it with the hot glue, let's grab a few little blocks and we'll build some fun little masses underneath. These can end up being covered with clay as well, but it gives us something for the clay to bond to. And forgot what I was going to say. Okay, now for the winter scene, we've got different types of trees, so I'm going to just drill some smaller holes here. And we'll get a little bit of wire in that. Fumble fingers today. We got some funny little blooper films going today. We'll see how it all works. And there you go. These little wires will hold our fir trees. And that'll be neat too because it's very different than the wire armature clay sculpted tree base. So here we are putting clay on our bases. We've got our armatures formed. We've got a few little blocks of wood installed just to give it some mass so it's not entirely solid clay. It's better to be able to transmit heat through it as well. And we'll get these sculpted bases going. This is our base for the winter scene. So what we got is some snow drifts here. And the treehouse itself will be up in the pine trees. It's going to look kind of nice. So I am finishing up the last tree here. This is actually going to be summer, which is 2 trees with the house between the 2 trees and a tire swing hanging from the house. I've been using the pink clay, which is actually my favorite. It's interesting, now it's coming in plastic wrap, Super Sculpey pink. It used to come in this box like the gray clay does now, but I prefer the pink. This is fresh and new and very easy to work with. It's been really wonderful. So there's our bases sculpted and we're ready to bake them, and then we will get to painting. So here's a fun little science experiment. We're going to try to make our little winter treehouse have snow on the roof. It's going to fit the trees like that. What I've done is I've taken some acetate and I've created little icicles that would be dripping off the roof edge, both sides. I've glued them just a little over the edge of the roof, and what that's going to do is allow us to put a little snow on the roof that's piling up and melting off and creating the icicles. Well, that side held pretty well. Let's add some snow to this side and see how it dries. A little runnier, but it should be okay. We'll let that drip if it needs to. Actually, it's going to look pretty good, I think. I'll take it up a little higher. A little more snow on the roof on this side. And we'll wipe it off. Let it drip down like it's supposed to. All right. Well, here we are at about the midway point in our little seasonal treehouse project. I've got these 2 ready for paint. We have spring, which will be pink blossoms and flowers and so forth. We have our summer clubhouse. This will be rough materials and a tire swing and all full green for summer. And then we've gotten a little farther with these two. Here's autumn. We've got autumn foliage, pumpkins, cornfields, and the theme here with the treehouse is actually like a barn for harvest. And our last one is winter, which I just finished painting. I showed you a minute ago how we do the icicles and the snow. And it's fairly well far along. So we're good here. Well, I'm really happy with these. I think it's fun. It's a lot of really good color, very different, unique. This one is probably my favorite one, given that it's Halloween time. But I enjoyed all of them. Let's take a closer look at them, shall we? Well, there you have it. We've got our 4 seasonal tree houses ready for the glass bell jars. Summer with the tire swing and the clubhouse concept, full on green. Autumn, which is probably my favorite one right now. We're going into the Halloween season. Pumpkins, fall colors. Spring with all of its blossoms and flowers going on. Very cute, very pretty. And then, of course, winter. And I hope you had fun trying the icicles in the snow. It's very themed. Had a lot of fun with seasonal tree houses. But I think it's time for something different. I think we're going to go on to a larger scale. And we're going to go on to a subject matter that I think is going to be near and dear to anybody that loves Disneyland. So thank you for visiting Bob Baranick's Treehouse. Please subscribe. Leave me a note if you feel like you want to. That lets the folks at YouTube know if this is a good YouTube project or not. And thank you again for visiting. Take care. We'll see you again on the next episode. Bye.